Hey, comic lovers, EMoney, the old man, and Thor the Dog of Thunder here. Hey, buddy. Hey, you been good? You been good this week? Yeah? Alright, so, we're here at our weekly garage sale, as you can see, and we're going to be here this coming Saturday as well, so come join us then. We're going to have some more details on that in just a little bit. But first, we have some entertainment news to share with you guys. News about all kinds of different comic book movies and TV shows in the works right now, so we're going to bring that to you. Then we have our comic book reviews and previews, a preview of what you can expect at next week's pop-up shop, and I have some news. Well, I have a Doggy challenge for Thor here in a little bit, and I got some news to share with him in just a little bit here as well. Alright? Obi-Wan, all I can say is, again, really? This is back issues. Alright, so before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on your notifications, give us a thumbs up, and if you like, leave us a comment. Alright, so first up, we have some news about the new Netflix series, The Sandman, coming later this summer to Netflix. Alright, so The Sandman, out on Netflix later this year, but it has been a long journey for creator Neil Gaiman to get the comic series to screens, mainly because he had so many worries about a bad version being made.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, if you've read the comics, it's a hard story to put on the big screen, not because of special effects, but because of the actual story. I'm concerned that the general public is going to be, what am I looking at? What is this?
Okay.
And that could be bad.
Well, Gaiman often compared adapting the Sandman to the fate that befell Howard the Duck, Marvel's first foray into movies, in case somebody didn't know that. Yeah, first Marvel character ever to be on the big screen. So, here's what Gaiman said about it. I didn't have faith that we'd always get here, but I had faith that the important thing was to stop bad versions from being made. Once a bad version is made, you never quite come back from that.
Nope. Howard the Duck has not come back from
Right? It may sound silly, but when I was 14 or 15, my favorite comic was Howard the Duck. Steve Gerber, Gene Colan, Frank Bruner, satire, madness, glory. I was so excited when I heard George Lucas was making a movie, and then a new breed of hero, which was the alternate title for the movie, came out. Howard the Duck became a bad joke. I never wanted that to happen to Sandman, and I saw scripts that would have made that happen.
Well, it's good that he's watching it,
Yeah.
being faithful to his own story.
Over the years, there have been a movie version discussed at Warner Brothers, another attempt at a film that didn't make it past the script that Gaiman described as the worst script he'd ever seen. There was another script by The Boys producer Eric Kripke, also the creator of Supernatural, which Gaiman dismissed due to the direction it took the material. However, all those failed attempts have ultimately led to this moment.
Well, stay true to the source material. The only reason you're making this movie is because you like the source material.
Yep.
Why change it up now?
Exactly. Well, the Sandman series premieres on Netflix on August 5th. Alright, so on to our next story. Deadpool 3 is starting to get some legs after being slogged down in mergers, writer changes, and numerous rolls of red tape. So Feige confirmed the R-rated Deadpool 3 is now officially has writers, a director, and a movie on the way. Ryan Reynolds is set, as always, to reprise the role, but this time a brand new home, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Wow.
Marvel Studios acquiring the rights to the Merc with the Mouth, along with the rest of the X-Men/mutant family, means Deadpool could team up with the odds with fellow MCUers. Could team up or be at odds with fellow MCUers. Some of the best potential interactions are off the table with Iron Man and Captain America out. However, there's still plenty of characters to choose from. So the one article I saw had some of their favorite picks for MCU characters they'd like to see Wade interact with on the big screen. One was Wolverine, which is problematic since
They haven't introduced Wolverine.
yeah, hasn't been in the MCU yet, and I don't know. Could Ryan Reynolds talk Hugh Jackman into doing it?
Jackman said he would come back as Wolverine if he was in the MCU.
He did say that. Okay, so anything's possible. Then also Daredevil was tossed around. He's been at odds with Daredevil before. And then you have Spiderman, and they've teamed up or been at odds
Many times.
Yeah, many times.
There's even a comic book called Deadpool and Spider-Man.
And then finally, the Punisher, who Wade would have all kinds of problems with because their professions are very similar, but their attitudes are wildly different.
Yeah.
So who would you like to see?
The Punisher would just turn around and shoot Wade.
Right.
Who would I like to see? I'd like to see the Hulk.
Okay.
Without the Bruce Banner mix, just the regular rageful Hulk.
See, I don't know if they would go in that direction since they already had, the Juggernaut in the last movie. It would be kind of similar, I would think.
Oh, Hulk crushed Juggernaut. What are you talking about?
Okay. All right, so, there's some of the picks that they came up with. Who would you like to see Deadpool interact with in Deadpool 3 from the MCU? Let us know about it in the comment section. All right, so on to our final story. As we all know, Universal has had some trouble getting some of their older properties off the ground in this modern world. The Universal Dark Universe was dead almost as soon as it arrived.
That's a shame, too.
Mm-hmm. So now, they're going to see what they can do about some other people's older properties, as they have just recently acquired the rights to the Green Hornet. So
we're going to do it straight?
The Green Hornet was the first superhero-style character to appear in popular culture. Before DC brought Batman and Superman to the world, Green Hornet appeared in early radio adventures before becoming the subject of Universal movie serials in the 40s. And then a TV series in the 60s, and then the Seth Rogen movie about 10 years ago. While Rogen played it for laughs, Winnell's style is obviously going to be a much more serious affair. Green Hornet.
You're getting kind of marble mouth today, aren't
Yeah.
you? You need to cool it. What's the matter with you?
So there's no confirmed time or release date for the Green Hornet yet. Just knowing that it is in the works from Universal right now.
I got mixed emotions about that. That's going to be a wait and see kind of attitude from the old man.
Right. All right, so that is it for our comic book entertainment news this week. Now, let's head into the garage for our comic book reviews.
Where the air conditioning is.
All right, so if you've never seen us do this before, we grade these comics on a 5-shield rating system. We give them each 2 scores, one for writing and story, and then the other one for artwork. And then we combine the 4 scores together to give it an average overall score. All right, so first up we have our mentions this week. We don't say honorable mentions because sometimes we might have something negative to say about them, but I think it's all good this week.
Okay, well, that's all
Mostly,
cool.
yeah.
All right, so start off with, just so you know, the mentions aren't in any particular order.
No.
Unlike the top 3. All right, so start off with Batman the Knight. This is number 6 of a 10-issue maxi series.
All right, so this is a story that takes place between Bruce Wayne leaving Gotham and then coming back as Batman, where each issue pretty much, he meets up with a different master or whoever and works to master a specific skill or fighting style or whatever it is he's going to need to. He doesn't really know what he's going to do when he gets back to Gotham yet.
He's kind of wandering around.
But he wants to learn everything pretty much of how to fight the criminal element and help people. So in this issue, he meets up with a guy who is a master at ranged weapons, aka firearms and other things. He also meets he's also with a buddy who followed him from a monastery from his the last master he learned from.
I'm going to say buddy is a loose term.
Yeah.
Acquaintance.
So throughout this training, we find out that Bruce is, doing this because he wants to help people, whereas his buddy is doing this because he wants the challenge. He wants to be the best, and he doesn't really care really one way or another if he hurts people along the way, because I think he says that stopping crime is more challenging than committing it, which is his logic. And then we also get an interesting backstory from the Master here. So, interesting stuff, good artwork. Batman the Knight, number 6 out of 10, ends up with
3.5 shields.
3.5 out of 5. Then next up.
All right, from Marvel Comics, right now it might be one of only 2 Star Wars books we read.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, this one's been pretty good. This is Star Wars Crimson Reign, number 5.
Okay. So this takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And for part of the story, we are following, her name has slipped my mind, Kira. I think that's how you pronounce it. Kira, who a lot of you may remember from the Solo, a Star Wars movie, as Han Solo's ex-girlfriend. Maybe you don't remember. Maybe you didn't watch it. A lot of people didn't.
I watched it and I don't really remember, but go ahead.
I think, Emilia Clarke played her. Anyways, so she, in the previous issue, she fought Darth Vader when they were fighting over Han Solo's carbonated body. And he's recalling the story to the Emperor, and Vader says her skills were notable, is what he said. So, one thing, Vader says that her fighting skills were very familiar, and the Emperor asked him, "Is it from a Jedi you destroyed during the Purge?" And he said, "No. Her skills reminded me of yours." And there's a tense moment between the Emperor and Vader for a second, like, "Are you accusing me of something?" And he's like, "Nope, just an observation." And he says he didn't train this woman, but maybe I trained the person who trained her. And they deduce from there. And also in this story, and it was in the previous issue as well, we follow the Knights of Ren, and they did a attack on Vader's palace on Mustafar. And I was confused because, Kylo Ren in the new Star Wars trilogy, he had a group of guys with him called the Knights of Ren, and I thought that he started that group. He was Kylo Ren, it's Knights of Ren.
Pretty logical.
Yeah, but it turns out that the Knights of Ren have existed before Kylo was even born, or Ben was even born. And I guess he took his name from the Knights of Ren and became the leader after a while. So, that was some Star Wars history for me there.
There are some limits to my Star Wars geekdom.
But you follow my thread, right?
I'm with you. I
Okay.
just don't know that my mind would have ever gone that route, but okay.
All right. So, good story here, and I'm looking forward to the next issue. Star Wars Crimson Reign number 5 ends up with...
Also with 3.5 shields.
3.5. And then finally, in our mentions this week...
Well, EMoney's probably always going to mention this book because it's one of his favorite TV shows.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Figured. This is All New Firefly number 5.
All right. So if you have been, watching our channel and you hear me talking about All New Firefly, you hear me often complaining about the artwork in this story. And it seems, or at least I'd like to think, that they've been watching my show because the artist has changed in this issue.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not, but I'm going to pretend they do.
Okay. Whatever makes you feel good.
All right. So you've heard me say in the previous issues we reviewed for this series is that the likeness of the characters from the TV show aren't really there at all. I mean, unless you see them wearing their trademark outfits from the show, I couldn't really tell one character from another.
The only male I can tell apart in those early issues was the new guy whose name I don't even know, who had a pencil-thin mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Without the mustache, I couldn't tell Jane from Mal.
Yeah, I mean, from the neck up, like everyone, this is a man, this is a woman, they look about the same.
And for those of you who've never watched the show, Jane is a guy.
Right. So now they have a new artist, and while he's not the greatest I've ever seen, he knows how to get the likeness of the characters down.
He's the greatest you've ever seen do all new Firefly.
Yes, absolutely. So it's like, this page, like, I can tell that's Jane because he looks like Adam Baldwin. Over here, I can tell that that's Mal because he looks like Nathan Fillion. And Marina Baccarin, looks like Inara. It's like all the characters, their likeness, they make sense. So, just by that alone, gets it a higher score for me because the illustrator is so much better than the first guy. So, in this story, we see Jane follow. It seems that he had a son that he didn't know about.
Yeah, he did not know that.
And his brother raised him, and now his brother's dying, and he wants him to meet his son. So kind of drops that on him, and Jane is trying to play catch up here. Now, I mean, Jane's doing a better job of this situation than I figured he would. I mean, when we first met him in the show, he probably would have not have done this.
Probably would have just taken the next flight out.
Yeah, but he's come a long way, even though he won't admit it. He has. One thing that the kid mentions from the show, that some people on Hingard's Moon still sing the Ballad of Jane Cobb. Dumbest song I ever heard. And Jane's like, some of it's true. So, good stuff here. All new Firefly, number 5, ends up with...
We rounded it up to 3.5.
3.5 out of 5. All right, so there is our honorable mentions for this week because they were all good. And now on to our top 3.
All right, and surprise, surprise, there was a tie. And so, EMoney and I, in order to decide who chose the order of the books that tied, we played Parcheesi. EMoney had never even heard of Parcheesi. So, I was the victor. I was the champion. Anyway, so, if you don't like the order of books 2 and 3 that we're about to talk about, tough, get your own YouTube channel. Okay, so, number 3. Started off with Image Comics, Hellcop. Now, this is one I actually like better than EMoney.
Okay, so there's actually 2 stories, the main story and the B story here. One is that one of the Hellcops, a woman, has inadvertently become the queen of a demon tribe. Well, by demon law, she has to take a king. So a tournament is to be held in order to decide the new king. And each tribe member who's taking part in the tournament has varying degrees of their attitude towards humans. So in order for relations between Hellcops and the demon tribes to be amicable, I guess you want someone who is more understanding, right? So they need to tilt the favor in their direction. Also in this story, so apparently in the afterlife, John Lennon is still writing songs. And he's still putting...
Not too hard to believe.
Yeah, and he's still putting out the music. Well, somehow, this kid in the world of the living, on Earth, is somehow getting lyrics and, the music to John Lennon's songs that he's doing in the afterlife, and he's passing them off as his own.
Who wouldn't?
Right. I mean, no one, on this plane of existence is going to call you out on it, or at least you don't think they are. So John Lennon gets wind of this, and he ain't too happy about it. So I'm almost more interested to see where that story goes than the main story. So Hellcop number 8, our number 3 pick for this week, with...
After we rounded it up,
4 shields. All right, next up.
A book that should be called World's Finest, but is actually called Batman Superman, World's Finest, number 4.
Excuse me. All right. So, and we open up with this issue. A lot of the superheroes around the world have been possessed or taken over by an alien entity. Think of it like Loki in the first Avengers movie. Just tapping the scepter and they do whatever he wants. Well, now Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, is under his control, and he's fighting it out with Batman and Superman, and it becomes a battle of willpower, Batman and Superman versus Green Lantern.
In case you don't know, Green Lantern's main asset is he has the strongest willpower of anybody on Earth.
Mm-hmm. So, in this issue, I don't know if it's going to become a key issue that's going to jack up the value here, but the artist apparently thought it was a big deal since he dedicated a whole page to it, where through the power of the ring and their willpower, Batman and Superman merge bodies. They become like an amalgam, if you remember those issues from the Marvel DC crossover stories. So there's that, and also Supergirl and Robin are looking to help stop the demon creature by traveling through time and discovering secrets of how he was brought down the first time. So, great artwork, and, that, Super Batman character, I don't know, might be something for the speculators to get a hold of. So, Batman Superman, World's Finest, number 4, ends up with...
Also, 4 shields after he rounded up.
4 shields, rounded up.
Right.
And I know that, they're always selling, alternate covers and variant covers and all that stuff, and, I guess there's profit to be made in it, but why you got characters that aren't even in the issue, huh? I mean, Catwoman, Lois Lane do not appear in this issue, and yet they're on the cover. It makes no sense. Anyways, but that's just me.
All right, so our number 1 book this week has been in the top 3 many times. It's one of 2 books that we read from McFarlane in the Spawn universe. One being The Scorched, this one being Gunslinger Spawn, and this is issue number 9.
All right. So, in this issue, we open up and we get a flashback of Gunslinger Spawn before he became a Spawn when he was a human, and we get a little insight as to how he got sent to hell in the first place. Yeah, he wasn't too nice of a guy. Also, then later we see him teamed up with She-Spawn, and for some reason, when they turn into their Spawn form, like neither one of them like to be looked at. I don't know why, but they don't, or at least they don't in this moment. So they meet up with Spawn, OG Spawn, and tell him that they need his help, partly for a gunslinger to get back to his own time, and they're trying to work out a deal with Spawn in order to make that happen. All right, so great artwork as always with most Spawn comic books. Gunslinger Spawn, number 9, our number 1 pick for this week, ends up with
4 shields, no rounding.
4 shields, no rounding. All right, so there is our picks for last week, our top 3 and our mentions. Get them at your local comic book shop if you haven't already. And what do we have going on this week?
Well, this week we seem to be back to about our normal number of comics. It's not real low, it's not real high like it was this last week. It's just right in the middle, right in that comfort zone. But if you remember, I really like Batman Fortress number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 comes out. We've also got another one-shot from the DC versus Vampire story. It's called DC versus Vampires Killers. I think this one has Harley in it.
All right.
8 Billion Genies, number 2.
Yep.
That book got more conversation in the shops and between me and EMoney of any book in a long time. All right. The Scorched, just mentioned that. Number 7 comes out. There's a new Thor book. I have no idea what it's about. It's called Lightning and Lament. I'm assuming it's a miniseries. And then the Naughty List is back to issue number 3.
All right, so there's the comics that we're interested in or are at least going to check out. So if our opinion means a damn to you, check those out yourself. All right, that is our picks for this week. Now, let's give you guys a preview of what you can expect at this week's pop-up shop. All right, so if you've never been to our pop-up comic shop, you need to check us out this weekend. It is this Saturday, July 2nd. It is 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., and we're going to have all kinds of cool stuff for you guys. We have comic books starting at $1, and they go up from there. All kinds of great keys for you guys. Be watching Craigslist and Marketplace, where I have a list of all of our most important key issues for you guys. And we're going to have toys, action figures. Our inventory, it changes every week because we have so much stuff we can't display it all at once. And we have DVDs and Blu-rays also available. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a small preview of what you can expect at this week's pop-up shop. Just a few of our issues. First up, we have She-Hulk #1 from 2014, and we have, I showed you guys Sensational She-Hulk #1 last week or the week before. So now we have this #1 from 2014. Then the other two I have here are some more affordable keys if you're looking for something around that price range. First up, we have Superman Man of Steel #18. This is in the events leading up to the death of Superman. This is the first full appearance of Doomsday. And Doomsday, he dukes it out with Superman and the low-rent Justice League in this issue.
Oh, he waged through the Justice League like a knife through butter.
Oh yeah, they were nothing. I think. No, I can't even say that Bloodwind slowed him down a little bit. He wound up, gave him his best shot, and Doomsday just shrugged it off. So it wasn't a good day for them. All right, then we have Spider-Man Unlimited #1. This is from 1993, and it features the first appearance of Shriek, one of the newer symbiotes.
You gotta love all those symbiotes.
Yep. So many to count, right? A lot of fun. All right, so we have all these and plus so many more for you guys. Like I said, be watching Craigslist and Marketplace for our listings, and you guys can get a more complete list. All right, so there is the comic books. Now, give you guys a little preview of some of the toys and collectibles for this weekend's shop. First up, we just got this this past week. I have a toy line from the motion picture The Puppet Master.
Now, that was a Full Moon production, and Full Moon was really hot for a few minutes.
Yeah. So, for each of these figures I'm about to show you, we have 3 different versions of them in the shop, and they all have varying values and different outfits or whatever. So right here we have the Tunneler, and he's sporting a tan uniform in this version. Then we have the Totem, and this says it's a special limited edition. And this one he's wearing a cloak. In other versions he's not wearing a cloak, and his totem here is different colors in different versions of the figures.
That's a character I don't remember from the movie.
Yeah. Then we have Pinhead.
I remember Pinhead.
And the big difference in his figures is the color of his sweater. I don't know why the color of the sweater gives him different degrees of value, but it does. So
sure, it's rarity.
And this one, he's wearing his brown sweater. And then finally, we have the Leech Woman, and her the same thing as Pinhead, where it's the color of her dress that's the difference. This one is the gold edition of her dress, and I know we have the pink dress and black. Yeah, pink and black are the other versions. So like I said, we have 3 different versions of each of these characters in the shop this weekend.
Now, we don't have my 2 favorite characters from the Puppet Master, which was Blade and Six Shooter.
Okay.
Now, I'm hoping that we'll acquire those as we continue to buy this large collection we're in the process of obtaining.
All right. So for now, we have these 3 different versions. So check them out. All right. So there is the Puppet Master line, and I have one other thing here to show you guys. Now, most of what we have toy-wise in the shop is action figures, but we do have a few other oddball things. We have our
board games.
Yeah, we have a collection of board games and a few other knickknacks like these here. This is Spider-Man Spider Racer, and it's a 1/18 scale remote control car. And, you know, never knew Spider-Man was a race car driver, but there he is.
He didn't have a race car, but he did have a dune buggy.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yep, not for very long.
All right, then we actually have 2 Spider-Man remote control cars, this being one of them. Then we have this here. This is Spider-Man Adventure Hero Off-Road Spider Cycle. Again, didn't know Spider-Man had a motorcycle.
I don't remember that.
But we all know they put all kinds of stuff in action figures and toys that did not appear in the comic book.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And kids mostly just eat it up. I've told you guys before, I know I told my dad, I don't know if I told you guys. When I was a kid, I was an action figure purist. I believed in getting action figures of the characters as I saw them in the TV show or the movie. You know, they had we have some action figures from Batman Adventures in our collection, and it's all kinds of weird stuff that was never in the TV show. Like, you know, Firefly Batman or the camouflage Batman and different stuff like that. Now, you guys, other kids might be into those things, but I never would have bought those things when I was a kid. So, that's just me. Anyways, so off-road spider cycle, you have missile firing and freewheeling action. So, actual firing missiles on either side here. So, you can get those at this week's local pop-up. All right? So, 7002 Brookbend Way, this Saturday, July 2nd, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, I hope you guys can make it out. All right, so that is our preview. Now, let's head back up into the garage with Thor. All right, back up here in the garage with Thor. And this week, I have what should be a simple task for him. So, you know, I've been known to toss treats to Thor in the past, and he does pretty well in catching them. He's not, you know, he doesn't bat 1,000, but he does pretty well. Well, now I'm going to introduce another element to it and see how he does. All right, so this is our Doggy Challenge of the Week.
This ain't going to go good at all.
She went like, hey, nope. Ready? Okay, let's see.
Good boy.
Okay, so she does it. Damn it! Well, I'm the one messing up here.
Well, here, give me the leash.
That's it. All right, ready?
Oh, so close.
All right, ready? Ready? And hey, no.
Sit.
Sit. Back. All right, ready? There we go. All right. Success. Good boy. All right, that was our Doggy Challenge video of the week. Did you have fun? Did you have fun, boy? Yeah, you're still looking at the treats, aren't you? All right, so I have some news for Thor and for everyone watching about what Thor's going to be up to in the next few days. Thor, you ready, Thor? You excited? Yeah, you ready? Thor is going on a date.
It's a play date.
Yeah. So some friends of mine, you know, I've shared with you guys, you know, updates about Thor's socialization over the last few weeks. Just last week, you know, he had a interaction with our neighbor's dog Stag, and you know they were really close to each other, and he did really well there. So I have some friends who have a German Shepherd. Her name is Freya. Freya, if you don't know, is the Norse goddess of love, and of course Thor is the Norse god of thunder. So I found that really serendipitous. And you know, I told them about Thor's, you know, progress on his socialization, and they agreed to have them meet up at the park tomorrow. So he's gonna meet up with Freya. Hopefully, it's gonna do well, and you know, hopefully, he makes a new friend. Right? Yeah. You excited? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Yeah. Okay. I need you to be really friendly like this when you meet all these new people and Freya. Okay?
Don't eat anybody.
All right. So I'll share updates with you guys next week about that. Hopefully I'll have some nice videos to share with you guys.
Or some bloody ones.
Don't jinx it. All right. So we'll see you guys then, and don't forget to come by our pop-up comic shop this Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're gonna have toys, comic books, DVDs.
Is that your Excelsior?
Yeah. Oh, we'll see you guys on the next one, Excelsior.
Man, he's just not with it today. All right, so true believers, I've asked you this before, probably in a different way, but my question is, you could pick any Marvel character that's ever been in a comic book and put them in the MCU. They're not already in the MCU. They've never been in a movie. No X-Men, none of that, none of the Daredevil or guys that run Netflix. And I want you to tell me who you would put in the MCU.